Picture this. You're the strongest man in your village. You've crushed every opponent, won every fight. Your confidence is bulletproof. Then, you step into a dusty arena in 13th century Mongolia, and across from you stands a woman. Her name? Khutulun. And she's about to ruin your entire reputation in front of thousands of screaming spectators. By the time her wrestling career was over, she'd humiliated princes, embarrassed champions, and collected 10,000 horses from the men foolish enough to challenge her. But here's what's absolutely insane. This isn't just about sports. This is about a woman who literally played chess with empires, commanded armies that made grown men weep, and carried the blood of the most feared conqueror in history. Stay with me, because this story gets absolutely wild. Born in the 1260s, Khutulun wasn't raised with tea parties and embroidery lessons. Her great-grandfather was Genghis Khan. Yes, that Genghis Khan. Her father, Kaidu, ruled a massive chunk of Central Asia, and instead of keeping his daughter locked away in some palace, he let her train with his best warriors. While other princesses learned to curtsy, Khutulun learned to break necks. While they practiced needlework, she practiced throwing grown men through the air like they were children. By her teens, she was riding into actual battles, not as some protected royal observer, but as her father's most trusted general. Imagine being an enemy soldier, seeing this fierce woman thundering towards you on horseback, knowing she could grab you mid-charge and drag you back to her army as a prisoner. But then, she made a promise that changed everything. Khutulun declared to the entire Mongol world, "I will marry only the man who can defeat me in wrestling." Now, pause for a second. This wasn't some cute medieval dating show. Wrestling in Mongol culture was serious business. It determined status, leadership, political power. She wasn't just challenging men to a friendly match. She was essentially saying, prove you're stronger than a princess or stay in your lane. The catch, if you lost, which, spoiler alert, everyone did, you owed her 100 horses. 100 horses per defeated challenger. The average Mongol warrior might own 5 to 10 horses in his entire lifetime. Losing to Khutulun meant losing generational wealth in a single afternoon. But here's what's psychologically brilliant about her strategy. Every man who stepped up thought he'd be different. Classic overconfidence bias, the same psychological trap that makes people think they'll win the lottery or beat the house in Vegas. Each challenger watched the previous guys get humiliated and thought, yeah, but I'm stronger than those losers. Meanwhile, Khutulun was getting richer and more famous with every single victory. Word spread so far that even Marco Polo, yes, the famous explorer, wrote about her. He called her the most remarkable warrior woman in the world and described how she would charge straight into enemy armies, grab soldiers off their horses, and drag them back through storms of arrows like she was collecting souvenirs. But here's where the story gets even more intense. Her success wasn't just making her rich and famous, it was making her dangerous enemies. Rival Khans started spreading rumors. They couldn't beat her physically, so they tried to destroy her politically. Some accused her of having an inappropriate relationship with her father, anything to damage her reputation and reduce her influence. Think about that for a moment. She was so powerful that grown men who ruled vast territories were literally gossiping about her like high school bullies. But Khutulun, she didn't flinch. Instead of backing down or getting defensive, she doubled down on her strength. She kept wrestling, kept winning battles, kept accumulating horses and humiliating anyone brave enough to challenge her. When her father died, the nobles offered her the throne, the chance to rule one of the most powerful empires in the world. Her response? She said no. Not because she couldn't handle it,
but because she was smart enough to know that accepting would paint an even bigger target on her back. Instead, she remained the power behind the throne, the woman every ruler had to respect, the warrior every enemy had to fear. Eventually, she did get married, but plot twist, her husband never beat her in wrestling. She chose him, on her terms, in her time, because she decided she wanted to, not because some ancient rule or defeated opponent forced her hand. Even after marriage, she continued fighting, leading armies and making political decisions that shaped Central Asia for generations. By the end of her life, she owned over 10,000 horses, a fortune so massive it would be worth millions today. Her story spread so far beyond Mongolia that it inspired the opera Turandot centuries later. You know, the one with Nessun Dorma that makes everyone cry at the Olympics. That character was based on our undefeated wrestling princess.
But here's what really gets me about Khutulun's story. She proved that strength isn't about gender. It's about refusing to accept limitations other people try to put on you. She lived in a world that should have silenced her, minimized her, married her after some random prince for political convenience. Instead, she made the world bend to her will. Every single man who faced Khutulun carried the same story for the rest of his life. I fought the princess who could have ruled an empire, and she destroyed me. That's not just a wrestling match. That's not just winning some horses. That's becoming a legend so powerful that people are still talking about you 800 years later. If this story gave you chills, smash that subscribe button. We've got more legendary women who made empires tremble. And drop a comment. Would you have been brave enough to challenge Khutulun? Or smart enough to keep your horses? Next week, we are covering Queen Tomiris, the mother who took down Cyrus the Great and literally made him eat his words. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Until then, remember Khutulun's lesson. Sometimes the most powerful move isn't accepting the game everyone else is playing, it's creating your own rules and making everyone else play by them.
Princess in the trap, yeah, she moving work. 10,000 horses, got 'em going berserk. Wrestling every prince, leave 'em in the dirt. Khutulun the plug, got the whole step turned. Mare's milking my system, but she's sipping blood. Pin you to the ground, leave you crying in the mud. Empire on my back, but I never show love. GENGHIS Khan genetics, yeah, she cold as a thug.